Hey, this is Judd from Jensen, and today we are going to be looking at settling markets in Delphi. So in other videos, we've covered basically what Delphi is and how it works and what you do with it, how to look at market cards and understand what you're seeing when you're viewing an actual market. We've looked at all of the different components of the UI. We've looked at buying and selling positions, creating markets, etc. And so now we're going to be actually settling a market. Starting on the home page here, we can see that there is this alert that's telling me that one or more of my markets is pending settlement. So just as a reminder, if you create a market, you obviously have to set a closing time, and then the settlement time is automatically 24 hours after the market close. So if you create a market and you don't settle that market within 24 hours of the closing time, then you forfeit a portion of your initial liquidity that you seeded the market with, and any participant in that market gets a full refund. I'm going to click View Markets here. Looks like it's this one right here. Jazz Chisholm Jr., number of RBIs at visiting field by Friday, June 12th. Right here, you'll see that the market is closed. There's no trading available. There's a button right here to settle the market, and you'll see the position that you have in that market. And there's also this tag in the top right letting you know that the market is pending. So now let's go and hit Settle. This page right here is where you come to actually settle the market. So you'll see your market title, you'll see whatever configuration you have. Currently, this one is to be settled with Claude Opus 4.7. It's not a verifiable market, so it does not use re. You'll see the settlement prompt and then a field where you paste the model's output. And then you can also select the outcome. So let's go ahead and copy this prompt right here, and we're going to pop open Claude and get to resolving this. I'm going to start by accessing my data source. And then I'm going to be settling this market by using Claude in Chrome. And the reason I'm doing this is because when I first created this market, I was testing out the settlement prompt, a slightly modified version of that prompt before using the actual Claude desktop app and using Opus 4.7. But I noticed that it was having a difficult time accessing certain web pages. And so I settled on using Claude in Chrome since it has interactive access to the page itself. So let's head back over here. We're going to copy this prompt. I'm going to paste that prompt into Claude right here, and we're going to watch it do its thing. Before I hit run, I just want to take a second to look at this settlement prompt here in detail so we can get a good understanding of what the model is doing, what it's looking for, and how it's deciding to settle according to the definitions and the rules here. So visited fields and away. These are definitions here. So RBIs recorded in games where the Yankees are the road or visiting team, hence the name of the market here at Visiting Fields, as reported in the away row of the breakdown section of ESPN's 2026 splits page for that player. So when I was designing this, I found a very, very specific table, a certain view, a certain setting in that table where I could get this data from. So by Friday, June 12th, 2026 is the cumulative season to date away RBI total reflected on ESPN after all games have completed. Games in progress at the cutoff are excluded, only the finalized games count. And then if we revisit this date right here, so that says Friday, June 12th. The Yankees actually didn't play yesterday, but I set the market close to be 10 a.m. on Friday, June 12th, which means that the most accurate data should have been published as of the end of the day on Wednesday. Now, since the market's closed, I'm going to go settle it, and by this point, ESPN has had probably around 36 hours to essentially update their statistics, their data, so we should be really confident that this data is going to be up to date and accurate. Heading back to Claude here, I'm going to approve this plan. You can see I've pasted in the entire prompt and I haven't changed anything about that prompt. So there are 13 steps here. Let's see what they got here. Those are not labeled. Let's look at the broad table structure. I can clearly see the away row. The away row reads RBI 16. The RBI value is 16. Based on the splits page, which is exactly the page, the table, and the specific part of this table that we mentioned in the settlement prompt, we can see that the RBIs in the away row show 16. And so this right here is our final outcome. Now I'm going to copy this entire response here. In fact, I'm going to do more than copy the response. I'm going to copy and paste all of its reasoning, all 13 steps. Heading back over to Delphi, I'm going to paste in the entire model's output right here, and I'm going to select the correct outcome, hit continue. There's this little settle market modal, which will tell you, again, the name of the market, the final outcome that you've chosen, so you have a chance to review it, whatever earnings that you've gotten from trading fees, and then any return of your deposit. As we are selling this market, we do get that deposit back, which again is not the case if you fail to settle a market. And then we see that there is a liquidity return section as well. So I'm going to hit settle market. Right here we can see that we settled the market, and it'll also tell us the date and the time that it was settled. We see this tag, which previously said pending, is now resolved to a nice blue settled market. This market has been resolved. The final outcome, the winning outcome here, and then any positions that I had in the market. And now we can also see that my creator stats have updated, and I've never failed to settle, which is great. And then if we want, we can also go to activity, go to history, see that we settled it right there, go to markets, and see that this right here, the status is settled. And this will persist permanently in your My Markets tab. So when you've made a bunch of markets, you can always see which ones are settled, which ones are pending, and what's active as well. Lastly, one final note on looking at old, expired, settled, canceled, completed markets, whatever. You can go to the home page and then switch this over here to settled, and then you can look at all of the different settled markets on Delphi, so you can just see how those markets played out. And that is it. That just about does it for this 4-part mini series. But if you want to get started trading your convictions and creating markets, go to the home page and you can click Get Early Access, which gives you access to this Delphi Marketplace waitlist form. So if you want to be a creator, go ahead, click this form, fill out some information, takes half a minute, and we will see you on Delphi. Thanks.